Hi guys, I'll be now covering the new King Piccolo from set 25. King Piccolo is a wish leader, so we haven't really gotten one in a while, and if we did, I'm glad they're finally giving Wish some spotlight in today's metagame. Right off the bat, we can see that this leader is one of a kind, as it has kind of an egg generating mechanic. As you can see here, when this card is placed in your leader area, place any number of King Piccolo's egg terror is born from your Z deck underneath this card. Which means since the Z deck is now increased to 10, we can actually place all 7 of the cards that we want in our underneath this guy and play out a King Piccolo's Egg Terror is Born from underneath him. And the way you could do this is pretty unique. You pay the 1 red energy and you add up to a total of 2 cards with Dragonball among the cards from your deck, life, in your hand, and from there you can shuffle any areas you look through for this skill and play 1 King Piccolo's egg from underneath this card. So what is so special about these egg generating mechanic? Well, we're gonna look at the cards here. The card here is called King Piccolo's Egg Terror is Born, and it says here that when it is played, place up to 1 Piccolo Jr. or Demon Clan card from your hand and Z energy underneath this card. What does this all mean, really? So why do we want to be able to place cards underneath the egg? Well, because it hatches, basically, in the start of your main phase. So if you're taking another turn, which you will, on turn 2, you can actually play out 1 red Piccolo or a Demon Clan with an energy cost of 3 underneath this card, free of charge. This is really useful because you can play cards like Symbol Terror is Born, which is why we play 4 copies of it in your deck. You can actually find 2 Dragon Balls from among your life, deck, in your hand and discard 1 card from your hand so that you can awaken as quickly as possible. And if you can't do that, well, you're going to be out of the luck because the meta game today requires that you have to awaken up early. And if you can't awaken early, well, Wish Leader is out of luck. So that's why we need the Symbol is Born at 4, because we want to be able to hard draw this card or search this card using the other Dragon Ball. The other Dragon Ball that we see here is called Suggestion for Right Pilaf. This is a card that if you activate it for free, which you will be able to activate for free, and it's not limit 1, you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add up to 1 red Namekian card, or not a red Namekian card, but any Namekian card, a Demon Clan card with an energy cost of 6 or less, and place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. This is very useful because now you can find the Namekians you need, including your super combo in the deck, and this is another super combo that we've seen that has been spoiled out of the set. This card is going to be replacing a lot of these super combos that we've seen in the past that allow us to bottom deck a card only if we have 4 or less life. But this card is really useful because now it replaces those cards in the event that you can't go down to 4 or less life in the event that you're playing a wish leader, such as this leader. So let's go back into the leader here. The leader here is able to wish once you have 7 or more Dragon Balls in your drop area. This means that once you are able to have 7, you can awaken him and put him out on the backside. The backside is very interesting as well. Once you're able to awaken, you can activate main, draw a card, and then play up to one of your King Piccolo's Terror is Born from underneath this card. So this is really useful because now you're able to play the eggs from underneath him even when he's on the awakening side and draw a card. And activate main, if you have a red Z Unison in play with specified cost of 1, you can remove 7 Dragon Balls from the game, and this allows you to add a card from the top of your deck into your life. So that's a very useful skill because now you're able to use a regeneration ability, as Namekians are typically known for. Having the rejuvenation ability allows you to have more life so that you can last longer against your opponent. So if you think about it, your leader has 9 life, and that's a really good mechanic to say at the very least. So the bread and butter of your deck is going to be called Symbol Terror is Born. As we've already read before, it does allow you to add 2 Dragon Balls from among all your cards in your deck and or your life, and once you do that, you can discard 1 card from hand. However, once you're already awakened, this skill becomes a lot less useful. So what you want to do now is use the other ability, which allows you to draw a card and choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 10k power for the turn. Very useful skill. None of these cards are limit 1, so it allows you to at least generate a +1, and especially since you're able to free play these cards, as you are unable to play them using their own skills, you're going to be playing them using the Eggs ability, and the Egg ability lets you play them at the start of your main phase. Another card I play is called Tambourine Terror is Born, another card that allows you to basically allow you to Z-charge by attacking. It stays true to the old King Piccolo, where it allows you to restand this guy for 1 energy, and then switch this guy to active mode, and it also does minus 15k power for the turn to another battle card. Very useful mechanic, so that allows you to access your Z deck at any moment's notice so that you can Z-charge as much as you can. So let's go into the King Piccolo here. This is just the SR of the set. This is the SPR version art, which I really like because he's sitting on the throne. So you can kind of see how powerful he is in the demon world. But anyways, I digress. Unlike the other cards that can be slipped underneath the egg, you cannot actually play this guy from underneath the egg because he is a Namekian. Namekians cannot be played with the egg, and if you read here, only Piccolo Jr. and Demon Clan cards can be played from underneath the egg, so you can't really hatch. So you have to basically play these guys out for 2 energy using their own skill, and this is a very useful skill because now you're able to play these guys out for 2 energy. However, this can kind of put a damper on your strategy because now you're paying 2 energies for something that you could have paid for free had you been able to slip it underneath the egg. So another Demon Clan card you can play is Drum. So Drum is needed to be reinvented in this set because now, even in today's ban list, you're unable to play more than 1 copy of this particular Drum, as it is a card that can only come out once per battle once you're able to combo it from your life. But I imagine you're not going to be able to combo this from your life, as it is something that you just want to play as a barrier blocker so you can block an opponent's attack. However, they reinvented Drum here, and in this one, when it is played, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle card, and it gets minus 15k power for the turn. Also, it has an ability when this card is removed from the battle area from an opponent's skill, you get to draw a card. So, if they're trying to remove this guy, you're at least able to draw a card in the event that they remove this guy and try to stop the blocking from happening. And all these Demon Clan cards can be played literally for free, including the Piccolo Jr. here, as well as Piano, can be played from underneath the eggs at the start of every one of your main phase once the egg is hatching these guys. Just a key note that once you are playing the Demon Clans or the Piccolo Jr. from underneath this card, you have to remove this card from the game. So you can't just keep putting cards underneath it, you have to keep relying on your leader here to produce the eggs from underneath him. Piano Terror the Born is another Demon Clan card here, where if you discard a card from your hand when it is played, you get to play up to 1 Demon Clan from an energy cost of 3 from your drop area. This means that you can recycle all the Demon Clans that have been used in the past, and he allows you to play them at a low cost of 1 card from your hand, as without actually having to pay energy to play those Demon Clans. Really useful skill, I would say. However, I only played 3 copies of this because you don't need to have too many to be able to play. So that's only a limit 1 ability, and that's why you only want to play 3 copies of it. Older cards that we use in this deck is called King Piccolo Time to Fight, and this can be really useful so that you can actually play cards like King Piccolo Evil Dictator. This is a really strong battle card, as it allows you to pay 1 red energy and then choose any number of red Demon Clan cards in your battle area whose total power adds up to 40k power or more, and place it in the drop area and play this card from your hand. It's a very strong card because it has double strike and dual attack, and it's 25k. This allows you to basically pump up a Demon Clan that you have on the board by 20k, and then once you're able to meet the satisfied condition, then you can basically bring out the King Piccolo from the hand. Just keep in mind that when you're using this skill, you can only pump up a red Demon Clan card in your battle area, and it gets 20k power. This is a very useful skill so that you can enable playing this guy out. However, I found that using this skill is actually very lackluster. It's only supposed to be used so that you can make one of your Demon Clans much stronger. For example, if you were to look at here and you were to pump this symbol up to 35k, that means that you have to find 5k more power so that you can actually play this guy out. Saying that it's actually impossible to add another 5k, you actually end up sacrificing 2 bodies in order to play this out. However, for only 1 energy, for a double strike dual attack, I think it's still worth it to play 2 copies of these in your deck. For the most part, you're only using this ability so that you can search for your super combo, as it is allowing you to do that every time it is evolved into. So if you evolve a King Piccolo on top of a King Piccolo, you're able to search for the Dende super combo, and that allows you to have more super combo power so that you can win the game a lot more consistently. As the game now has relied on less of a mulligan system. You might be wondering why I don't play the testing the opposition. The reason for this is actually pretty clear. To be able to use testing the opposition, you have to have 5 or less life. And as you are playing a wish leader, you're often going to be at a high life at a very early turn in the game. So you want to be able to proc cards like After Image Technique, because now you have 7 cards in your drop area with 7 Dragon Balls. And with 7 Dragon Balls in your drop area, that means that the Sparking 5 is now going to take effect, and you can actually start taking life and more on the component of the deck to be able to draw and search for the super combos that you need in order to finish off the game. Older cards I do play as well is called Symbol Demonic Subordinate. It's an older card that King Piccolo does use back in the past, the Green Piccolo, that allows you to basically give double strike to your leader. So it has double strike for only 1 energy, sort of like a Champa that you can use that's legal in today's metagame. And then going down slowly so that you can finally activate cards like Explosive Dance for its full value. But since Explosive Dance requires you to have 4 or less life, it's going to be very difficult to get to 4, so that's why I opted to go for only 2 copies of this card in the event that you have 4 or less life, because your opponent's going to be taking down your life for you, and eventually you're going to get down to 4. Okay, so now let's look at the secret rare that we decided to choose, Because we didn't really cover the secret rare, we decided to play the Son Goku Apex of the Origin. This is the Goku that's very interesting because you can reduce this card basically to 0 cost. So you can free play this guy, assuming you have 3 more energy, and you also have 3 or more Z energy. Z energy is going to be really easy to facilitate because now you have cards like Tambourine, which can combo cards from the drop area. You also have cards like King Piccolo's Restored Youth and Ultimate Evil Power, which allows you to combo cards that are mono red from your drop area and also allows you to combo as well. Having had the ability to Z charge by attacking, you can actually bring this out for 0 energy, and it also has another ability where if it's sparking 7, you get to pay 1 energy and draw cards so you have 7 cards in your hand. So they actually want to incentivize you to combo as much as possible because this Goku allows you to draw cards until you have 7 in hand. And I can see this being useful. It also has an ability when played, choose 7 of your opponent's battle card and send them to the warp area. The downside of this card is that although it is a very cool battle card, it is not really doing any sort of double strike, triple strike, or quad strike. However, it does allow you to draw cards until you have 7 cards, and it is an iconic card because this is base form Goku against Frieza in the Frieza saga, so it's going to be a sought-after SCR, as Dragon Ball Z was a very popular anime back in the day, and this battle was one of the epic showdowns that he has against Frieza. So let's go into the unison here. So the unison here is called Rich Pilaf Exploited 3. So this card reads, choose up to 1 of your King Piccolo's Egg Terrors Born, place up to 1 Demon Clan from your Z energy underneath that card, and play up to 1 red Demon Clan card with an energy cost of 3 from underneath the card. This card can be very useful so that you can actually play out a lot of the different demon clans that you want from the same egg. So in the event that you sort of run out of the egg, you kind of want to keep 1 egg open so that you can at least start pushing a lot of different demon clans into play. But I imagine the game's not going to go too far past turn 5. And if it does go past turn 5, then it's likely they're going to run out of eggs anyways. So you want to be able to finish the game as quickly as possible. We also play the Mighty Blast because it is a staple card for red leaders so that you can actually give more combo power to your leader. Alright, so let's go into these demon clans here. So for 2 energy, this card can be played if you have 3 or more energy. And when you do play this card, you get to draw a card and then play a demon clan from your deck that costs 3, exactly 3, or a Namekian card from your deck that costs 3 as well. And then once you do that, you have to shuffle your deck, but it is only a limit 1, so you can't play multiple copies. Another Activate Main allows you to place one of the Namekian cards or Demon Clan cards into the owner's drop area, and then get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards or unison and get minus 15k. The key note here is that it generates 2 pluses, as when you do play this card, you are able to draw a card and you're able to play another battle card for another swing. And he's also a King Piccolo, so you can actually EX Evolve for 1 more energy to play onto this guy, or you can play this particular King Piccolo, which allows you to hit for double strike 25k. This King Piccolo here, Birthing True Evil. When this card is played, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add up to 1 red King Piccolo or Demon Clan to your hand, and shuffle your deck. And this card gets plus 5k power for the turn. That's enough of that. We're going to go into the gameplay video after this, so we can actually see how this deck flows turn by turn. So stay tuned for that. Alright guys, this will be the gameplay video for this particular leader. We are now going to draw our 6 cards and see what this deck has in store for us. So we're going to draw our 6 cards here, and we notice that right off the bat, we don't really have a way to have a Dragon Ball in rotation. You want to be able to mulligan for at least 1 Dragon Ball so that you don't have to rely on certain events to happen so that you can awaken as quickly as possible. And since we also didn't draw a Demon Clan, we also want to start off with a Demon Clan so we could put stuff underneath our egg. So this hand is actually pretty bad, and so we're actually going to do a full mulligan here because that is the rules of the game. Okay, so we're going to shuffle our deck, and then we're going to draw our 6 cards here. So right off the bat, we do see that we have a Demon Clan in our opening hand, and we also have a Dragon Ball, so this is going to allow us to play the game quite nicely here. So right off the bat, we're actually going to take off our life here. We're actually going to charge the King Piccolo here, even though it is one of our win conditions out of this deck. So once we charge this card, we're going to pay the 1 energy here to use the Dragon Ball, and this allows us to basically look for 2 Dragon Balls with our life and our deck. Because I want to be able to stand out my deck as quickly as possible, I want to be able to search for the Dragon Balls first. So let's look at the life first to see what happens. Looking at our life here, we do have 1 Dragon Ball in our life, so we're going to add this Dragon Ball to our life and go down to 7 life. And on top of that, we're going to look through our deck and add another Dragon Ball. Once we do that, we're going to send the Dragon Balls to the drop area, and then we're going to draw 2 cards. From there, we're going to activate Suggestion of the Right Pilaf. I forgot to mention that once we do activate that ability, we want to be able to play a King Piccolo's Egg Terror is Born from our Z deck. And the reason why I'm doing from the Z deck is because I don't want there to be too much clutter underneath the leader. In real life, you can actually just place them all underneath very solidly. But for this case, we're just going to play them from the Z deck. And this is going to trigger the ability here to place a Demon Clan underneath. We did have a Demon Clan from our opening hand. So that's what we're going to do, is place the drum underneath it. So since we didn't find a way to put a Demon Clan that allows us to put the Dragon Balls in our hand, we have to settle for the drum here, which is fine. We're going to use suggestion from the right for peel off, and that's going to look at the top 3 cards of our deck and add a Namekian or Demon Clan. So let's add this Piccolo Jr. here to our hand, and the bottom deck the rest because that's what the card says. So we're going to bottom deck the Explosive Dance as well as the right. Okay, so we now have 3 Dragon Balls in circulation. However, judging by this, if we were to have another turn and we activate the King Piccolo to search 2 more, we're unable to see the 2 Dragon Balls, the 7 Dragon Balls in time. So we're definitely going to have to hope and pray that we draw a symbol in our opening hand in the next few turns. Okay, so on our opponent's turn, we're actually going to Z-Charge because we want to Z-Charge so that we can play the peel-off unison, so we are able to place more cards underneath the eggs. So what we're going to do here is we're going to Z-Charge the Piccolo Jr. here. Even though he is a Demon Clan, we do want to put him in the drop area so that we can see him later in the game. From here, we're going to take another turn, and hopefully we can see the symbol, and yes, we did. Because we drew this card, we want to be able to play this card. However, to play this card, we need to play it from underneath an egg. So this is going to be very troublesome because now we can't play the 3 energy to play this guy, but we can use the peel off here to be able to play this guy out. So this is going to be useful in actuality. So what we're going to do here is charge our second one, even though we only play 2 copies. And then from the start of our main, we're actually going to be able to play the drum here. So now what we're going to do here is pay the 1 energy, and then we're going to use this ability to look for the top 2 Dragon Balls. We're going to add the Draw Dragon Ball, and we're going to add the top 3 Searcher Dragon Ball. So now all we have to do is find a way to get to the last 2 Dragon Balls, and we're able to awaken as soon as turn 2. If we can't do that, then we're going to be stuck at this side of the King Piccolo for yet another turn, and that can spell it lethal for a lot of different decks against you. So what we're going to do is pay the Dragon Ball to draw a card, and then we're going to play the suggestion of the right, look at the top 3, and then we're going to add yet another Demon Clan. Let's add this one since we don't already have it, and then we're going to bottom deck the rest. From here, we also want to play the egg out because we did search our deck, and then we're going to play this out. Okay, now from here, we're actually going to use the ability to place the symbol underneath here. Now we're going to play the 1 energy to send the Piccolo Jr. to the drop area, and then play the peel off unison. Once we have the peel off unison, it'll come in with 1 marker, and then we're going to use the marker here to plus up, and then we're going to place the Demon Clan from our hand underneath the egg, and then play out the symbol here, and the symbol here is going to be able to look for the Dragon Balls. So this allows us to basically awaken, and we are able to avert a disaster. Now that we have the 2 Dragon Balls, now we can awaken. So let's use the ability here to look at the top 3. Sometimes you won't see a Namekian, and that's fine. And so we're going to add a Namekian we don't already have. Let's find a symbol back to our hand, and then bottom deck the rest. And then we're going to activate the card again, look at the top 3, and then we're going to add yet another Demon Clan here. Let's add this Piccolo here because he is a Namekian, and let's bottom deck the rest. Now with 7 Dragon Balls, now we're able to awaken. So let's awaken. To awaken, you only draw 1, but on the backside, you're able to awaken on the backside to draw 1, and then play another Piccolo Egg is Born. So now we have 2 eggs into play. This one allows you to also place another Namekian or a Demon Clan underneath. I think I'm going to go with the Tambourine here because he's going to be able to Z-charge for us so that we have more chance to get another unison out. Okay, so now we have 2 bodies on board. We could keep this card in active mode, in which we will, and we're going to attack with the symbol here, which allows us to attack. Don't forget that I forgot to mention that when you do search for the Dragon Balls, you do have to discard a card. So let's discard a card here. We're going to discard a symbol since we already have one on board. Okay, so now we're going to attack here, and we have the option here to right away remove 7 Dragon Balls from our drop area, but we don't want to do that because we have our SCR in our hand, and we can't play this guy until we have 3 or more energy and 3 or more Z energy to reduce it to 0. So we definitely want to keep this Dragon Ball in our hand, in our life, so that we can use the Sparking 7 and draw until we have 7 cards in our hand. Okay, so on our opponent's turn, most likely what they're going to do is going after our unison. We want to play free negates as much as possible, and this card is going to allow us to do so. So we're going to use Actor Image here. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take a life in the process so that we can go down even lower. Okay, and we can also block an attack as well. And this is going to allow us to block an attack to our unison. And this also allows us to combo as well. I find that we shouldn't combo anyway, so let's just send him to the drop area as he is able to be defeated. Okay, and let's say they go up to the unison once more, somehow on their turn 2. You can after image once more and go down to 5. Okay, so now we're at 5 life, and this is going to be good because now we can now do a lot of different plays on the next turn. So on our next turn here, we're going to charge. Looks like we drew into another after image technique, which is fine. We're going to charge a card that we don't need, which is going to be our King Piccolo Jr. And then now that we charge, we can actually play the drum out. That's going to minus 10k to a battle card and also provides barrier blocker and allows us to play the tambourine as well. So now the eggs are gone, but we can play more eggs, so don't worry. Now we're going to be able to attack with the tambourine here. This allows us to combo a card from our drop area. So let's combo away our Piccolo Jr. The Piccolo Jr. is going to go into our Z energy. So that's useful. And we can also use his ability here to ready him. Restand this guy to active mode. So we're going to pay the 1 energy here to ready him. And then now your opponent, one of your opponent's battle card gets minus 15k power for the turn. And this is not a limit 1. So when he does attack, you get to combo yet another card. So let's combo another card here. Let's combo a symbol. So already off the bat, we have 2 Z energy. And so all we need now is 1 more so that we can play our SCR for free. But that means that if we do play this card, we're not going to be able to draw until we have 7 cards. But at the very least, we want to be able to combo as much as possible. So let's swing with 15k, and we can keep this guy in active mode. We're going to use the ability here to draw a card, and then play an egg out. And with the egg, we're going to place the piano here underneath it so that we can play a card from our deck. I don't mind tapping out at this point in time because now we still have the free negates here. So we're going to pay the 2 energy here to play the King Piccolo. This King Piccolo is going to gain 5k, and then let's look at the top 5 cards of our deck and add a Namekian or a King Piccolo to our hand. Add a King Piccolo or a Demon Clan to our hand. Any cost whatsoever. So let's do that. So we're going to look at the top 5 here, and then we're going to add a Demon Clan. Looks like they have a super combo here. We also have this Piccolo as well, this King Piccolo. And so I feel like we already have enough super combos as is. So we're going to add this King Piccolo into our hand so that we can play it for the next turn and shuffle our deck. And then this allows us to basically attack with him if we want to. We also want to add a Demon Clan from our drop areas to our Z deck, or Z energy. So we're going to add this Demon Clan as well. So we already have our 3 energy, and we can play our Goku for free. However, when we do that, it's not going to be very impactful until we are able to use the Sparking 7. Unless you don't mind this being removed for the next turn, I would suggest keeping it in your hand. But what we're going to do here is EX Evolve on top of this King Piccolo, and this is going to allow us to combo yet another card from our drop area. So we don't really have anything we can combo from our drop area since we already have extra cards. But what we need to do is place cards in our drop areas so that we can attack with this guy. So there's probably no need to attack with this guy to use the combo power. But we could actually minus 15k because we don't actually have the combo. So this allows us to board control. And on our next turn, on our next opponent's turn, we can actually use the after image technique. And then we can also use this plus up ability. Don't forget to do that on our own turn to give yet another marker. So once we give another marker, we are able to have 3 so that we can minus 3 and play Rejuvenation. We can also block here as well, so it's not too bad. Even if you are running out of cards in your hand, I imagine we're not going to use this Goku until very last end. Okay, so we're going to send this to drop here, and now we're going to take our turn again, and this is going to allow us to play out the piano. So let's play out the piano once we are able to charge one of these cards. So this is the start of our main. So at this point in time, it is the turn 4 game. So what we haven't done so far is play this Piccolo here. So let's try to do that. Let's try to play that right away. So we're going to pay the 2 energy to play this Piccolo here. And this Piccolo here is going to be able to play a Demon Clan from our deck. So let's play out a symbol here. So now we have a bunch of 15Ks that we can swarm the board with. And this guy is also a 20k power as well. So we can place one of our Namekians in our drop area and minus 15k something. So what we can do here is swing with the piano. Use the ability once after to send the piano to the drop area, and then now we can minus 15k to something, swing with this card right here, and then place this back into the Z. And then we can also pay 1 energy to ready him, and then ready him again and attack for another 15k. So that's what we can do here. Also, we want to be able to super combo as much as possible so that we can draw until we have 7 here. This only costs 1 energy, so we want to keep 1 energy open so we can play our Goku. So what we're going to do here is we're going to swing with one of our battle cards, and then we're going to super combo right away since we have so many cards. We're going to bottom deck our Piccolo here, and then draw 2. And then it looks like we drew our Explosive Dance. Since we plan on using the Goku here, we're actually going to bottom deck the Explosive Dance so that we can draw until we have 7. Okay. And it looks like we still have the super combo left. We can Z-charge one of them and then place this card in the drop. Make sure that we want to use this card first. So when we do that card, we can send this off to the drop and then play the King Piccolo Unison. So just be careful not to use this ability if you don't have access to a King Piccolo Unison or a Piccolo Jr. Unison, because if you use this ability and you search your deck, it won't be able to play it. So looks like from our finding, we don't have another Piccolo Jr. Unison in our deck because it is limited and it is in our life. So that's very unfortunate for us. So we're just going to proceed on as normal. This is probably already used up last turn, so we couldn't actually play it. And so now we have all these cards in our hand. We could pay the 1 energy to play the Goku, and that's what we're going to do to clear the board. And so we can actually swing with everybody until we have all the cards we need. We can even combo with this symbol as well to put this more cards in our Z energy. And then we can actually want to combo as much as possible. So that's what we're going to do. Combo as much as possible. Bottom decking this card and drawing 2. Comboing with this card, comboing with this card, and comboing with this card as well, and comboing with this card. So now, at this point in time, we can actually use the Activate Battle here to draw a card. So we pay the 1 energy to use his ability, and then draw 7 cards. Alright, so we were able to draw a fresh new hand. We were able to draw a fresh new hand using the Goku ability here. So already off the bat, we were only at 7 cards left in our deck, and we were able to combo so high on a lot of the different attacks here. So for the most part, we've already done most of the skills that this leader can do. We haven't used the ability here to remove 7 Dragon Balls. We're just going to do it for showmanship, but for the most part, we've already accomplished most of the deck's mechanic already. So we're just going to send this to the warp because there's really no point, and then that's going to allow us to place 1 card from our deck into our life area. So now we can have 5 life, and then we can attack with everybody. So for the most part, you guys kind of have an understanding of how the deck flows. The most important part was the awakening way, the wish way of awakening. So there's multiple ways you can awaken by turn 2. Very rarely will you go down to turn 3 and awaken. So just an FYI, this leader seems to be very okay as a wish leader. I just wish there was more things that they could have done, like play better battle cards or something. For the most part, the battle cards are kind of okay, and it kind of relies heavily on the SCR to put a lot of damage in. I did draw these cards early. Had I had these cards earlier or later in the game, I would have been able to play him, but I had to force charge him in the beginning of the game. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one for the yellow spoilers.